You feel it, don't you? A quiet, gnawing anguish in the background of your life. A static hum of futility that plays under everything you do. It's the feeling of being a spectator, a ghost in the machine of your own existence. You watch a character with your face move through the world, following a plot you didn't write, speaking lines you didn't choose. You work, you consume, you scroll, you exist. But you suspect in your darkest, most honest moments that if you were to disappear tomorrow, the universe wouldn't even register a ripple. Society has a name for this feeling: depression, anxiety, a chemical imbalance. It tells you that you are broken and need to be fixed. That is a lie. That feeling of insignificance is not your condemnation. It is your calling. And the pain you feel is not a sickness to be cured. It is a signal to be understood. In this video, I will not give you the comfort of a diagnosis. I will give you a weapon. I will show you how to take that vast, crushing emptiness and forge it into a meaning so powerful it will burn away the person you thought you were. Let's begin with a precise diagnosis of your despair. Why do you feel so powerless? It's because from the moment you were born, you were poisoned with a subtle but potent lie. A lie so pervasive, you think it's the air you breathe. It's called the social script. It's the grand narrative that insists your life is a journey on a train, on a track laid by others, heading to a predetermined destination called success or happiness. The first question they ever ask you as a child is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Programming you to believe you must fit into a pre-existing box. You were told, go to school, get the grades, find a career, get married, buy the house, curate the perfect life on a screen. Follow this script and at the end of the line, you will be handed your reward, a sense of purpose. You were sold the myth of finding yourself, as if your identity were a lost set of keys. You were sold the most damaging myth of all. Follow your passion, as if it were a magical treasure map that makes the journey effortless. But this is a vicious fraud. For most, that treasure map leads nowhere, leaving them feeling like fools in a rigged game. For the few who think they found it, they often discover the passion fades because it wasn't a destination, but a fire that needed to be built through the friction of hard work. This entire script creates a predictable, controllable citizen who is always looking outside of himself for validation. The despair you feel is the correct, logical, and sane response to looking out the window of that train and realizing the scenery is a lie. Your pain is the sound of you waking up. So what is the first act of a waking man? He stands up, walks to the door of that speeding train, and he jumps. The initial fall is terrifying. It is a vertigo of shattering illusions. This is the moment you embrace what the philosopher Albert Camus called the absurd. The absurd is not the belief that life is meaningless. It is the honest recognition of a collision. The collision between our profound, desperate human need for meaning, order, and reason, and a universe that offers none of those things in return. It is silent. It is indifferent. It follows its own inscrutable laws and owes you absolutely nothing. Society, the architect of that train, has taught you to fear this truth more than death itself. It has painted the absurd as a dark pit of nihilism and despair. But that is because a man who fears the absurd remains a passenger. I am telling you that this brutal truth is not a prison. It is the key. For as long as you believe in a pre-written story for your life, you are a slave to the imagined author of that story. You live in search of its approval, in fear of its judgment. You interpret every failure as a punishment, every success as a sign that you are on the right path. You are perpetually looking over your shoulder for a nod from a cosmic judge who isn't there. The absurd is the death of this judge. The moment you truly internalize the universe's indifference, you are liberated from the tyranny of its imagined opinion. No one is coming to save you. But this also means no one is coming to condemn you. There is no grand scoreboard. There is no final exam. This is why the phrase, "everything happens for a reason," is the most potent spiritual poison ever conceived. It is a lullaby for children, designed to make them feel safe in a world they don't control. It steals your agency. It turns you into a passive observer, waiting for a hidden meaning to be revealed. The rebel, the creator, knows the truth. Things do not happen for a reason. You give them a reason through the power of your response. The universe is not a storybook you must decipher. It is a blank canvas, and burning the useless map of the social script is the first time you pick up a brush. Imagine you were given a detailed map of a continent and told to follow its paths. You spend your life on it, only to realize you are not on a continent at all. You are in the middle of a vast, uncharted ocean. The map is not only useless, it is an insult. Your first instinct is terror. But what comes after? The realization that you are no longer a hiker on a predefined trail. You are the captain of your own vessel. The winds of chaos are not your enemy, they are a force to be harnessed. The stars above are not a map, they are merely points of light, and you are now free to choose which one you will navigate by. This is the magnificent horror of true freedom, the freedom from all external meaning. It is only here, in this mapeless ocean, that the real journey can begin. You are now standing in the center of that mapeless ocean. You have jumped from the train and burned the fraudulent map. The silence of the universe is deafening. There is no script, there is no judge, there is only the vertigo of absolute freedom. The natural human question that arises in this terrifying void is, what now? If there is no path to follow, how do I move? This is the point where most turn back, scrambling for the comfort of a new map, a new system, a new master, but you will not. Because you will learn that if the universe offers no voice, you must become the voice. If the universe provides no meaning, you must become the meaning maker. This is the new law. Meaning is not a noun. It is a verb. It is an act of conquest. It is the scream you launch back into the abyss. This scream takes place in the forge of the self. You are no longer a passenger or a captain. You are the blacksmith. This is the secret the self-help gurus, with their empty positivity, will never tell you. They sell you comfort because a comfortable man is a good consumer. They preach that pain, anguish, and suffering are states to be avoided, medicated, or whitewashed with affirmations. This ideology of weakness is designed to make you put out the fire of your own forge. But a blacksmith knows that fire is the most crucial element. Your pain is not your enemy. It is the fire that makes the raw, stubborn metal of your existence malleable enough to be shaped. Without it, you remain a cold, brittle, useless lump. The indifferent, absurd universe is the anvil, the unyielding surface you strike against, and your conscious, defiant choice, that is the hammer. Every time you choose the difficult path over the easy one, you are striking the metal. Each time you choose your own authentic truth over the comfortable lie of conformity, you are striking the metal. This process is not the clean, quiet academic task of finding yourself. It is a violent and glorious act of creation. It is filled with the deafening clang of the hammer on steel, the hiss of your resolve being tested, the smell of smoke and effort. You are not an archaeologist gently brushing dirt off a pre-existing relic. You are a creator, beating a new form into existence through force of will. This is the leap of faith that the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard spoke of, reimagined for our absurd world. It is not a leap into the arms of a god. It is a leap into your own creation. It is the decision to commit to a path, a value, a love, or a project, without any external guarantee of its worth. The meaning is not waiting for you at the end of the path. The meaning is forged with every single step you take upon it. So how do you practice this rebellion daily? How do you wield the hammer in the forge? You must learn from the greatest hero of the absurd, the ultimate model for a life of created meaning, Sisyphus. The gods, in their attempt to devise the most torturous punishment, condemned him to an eternity of futile labor, to push a boulder up a hill only to watch it roll back down forever. They believed they had condemned him to despair. But they failed. Sisyphus, in his lucid consciousness of his fate, defeats them. He finds his meaning not in the impossible goal of making the rock stay, but in the struggle itself. He scorns the gods and his punishment by embracing it as his own. In that moment of conscious rebellion, the rock becomes his. The struggle becomes his kingdom. As Camus famously wrote, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. You do not need a literal boulder. Your boulder is your daily resistance against apathy, against the pull of the meaningless void. It is your alarm clock in the morning, your difficult project at work, your commitment to your own growth. You must choose your rock. Defy your own sense of futility with these daily acts of rebellion. These are the weapons of the Creator. 1. Seek challenge. The modern world sells you an endless supply of comfort and convenience. It promises life hacks to make everything easier. This is a trap. Ease makes the will soft and the spirit dull. Actively choose the hard path. Take the stairs. Read the difficult book. Have the uncomfortable conversation. Every challenge you willingly face is an act of forging, strengthening the muscle of your will. 2. Practice authenticity. This is more than just telling the truth. It is the brutal task of aligning your actions with your forged values, even when it is socially expensive. It is the courage to disappoint others in order to avoid the ultimate treason of disappointing yourself. Every time you say no when you mean no, you are choosing your own reality over someone else's. 3. Create. The act of creation is the ultimate defiance against chaos and entropy. It does not need to be a masterpiece. Write one true sentence in a journal. Cook a meal from scratch. Organize a messy room. Any act where you impose your order, your vision, and your will onto a piece of the world is a victory. It is your scream made manifest. 4. Reclaim your focus. Your attention is the currency of your life. An entire economy is built on hijacking it, scattering your consciousness into 1,000 pieces of passive consumption. To choose, deliberately, to focus on a single task, a single book, a single person without distraction. This is a revolutionary act. It is you declaring sovereignty over your own mind. You are not a creature of circumstance. You are a creator of reality. Therefore, do not wait for a sign. The universe will not speak. You must scream first. If this message resonated, like to seal your commitment. If you know what your first act of defiance will be, comment and make it real. And if you know someone else chained by the lie of insignificance, share this weapon with them. Passivity ends today. This is the Philoverse. The work begins now.